Nissan's Rogue is now in the top 10 best-selling vehicles in America. For an automaker to achieve this status for one of their models, they must be doing something right. Introduced for its second generation a few years ago, the Rogue sees a mid-cycle refresh that makes it a little more appealing for 2017. But do these updates make the Rogue more competitive in a sea of compact crossovers? Well, let's go ahead and find out and check out this 2017 Nissan Rogue. Now the Rogue actually just recently passed up the Altima in terms of sales, but this just shows you that the demand for crossovers is increasing year after year, and while the demand for sedans is decreasing. Now, like I said earlier in the video, Nissan has put a mid-cycle refresh on the Rogue for 2017. Now the updates do include more sound insulation. They also added a couple more high-end safety technologies such as forward collision warning as well as adaptive cruise control. And then you also do see the addition of a hybrid model too. Now here goes the key fob design for the Rogue here. You have your lock, unlock, and your panic alarm. And it is a switchblade key. Our trim of the Rogue is the base S trim. Now, Nissan also updated the styling for the vehicle. They updated the headlights. It's a little bit sleeker this time around, and then they gave it a bigger grille, but it still has that boomerang type style that you'll find on many of other Nissan's vehicles. And then you also do have new taillights too. But overall, it's not a bad looking design. It's fairly modern looking, yet conservative. Alright, now stepping on inside of the Rogue, Nissan has made some pretty nice updates to the interior here, such as on the dashboard you have this nice molded stitching, gives it a more high quality vibe. Certainly not a bad looking interior for a base model, and I love the new steering wheel design. That's probably my favorite part. Love the flat bottom. It's fairly sporty looking, and the new gauge cluster is certainly welcomed. But overall, I'm quite impressed with the interior, especially for the base model. What I'm pretty surprised about is that Nissan doesn't have push button start on the base model here. Now most trims will come with push button start, but Nissan's usually pretty good about putting push button start as standard equipment on every single trim. And what you're hearing there is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Coming to your transmission, we have a CVT automatic as well as manual shiftability. When you put the vehicle into reverse, this will display your rear view camera with guidance lines. No trajectory, however. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the headlights as well as the hazards. Let's go ahead and check out the exterior of the Rogue. You have your automatic driver's side window. Let's go pop up the hood and check out the engine bay. Now with the Rogue selling more units each and every year, Nissan really needed to keep the same recipe for the Rogue while improving it. You have 17-inch steel wheels. And one of the reasons why people love the Rogue is for its excellent fuel economy, and another reason is for its excellent comfort too. Coming up front here, we have halogen headlights with LED daytime running lights. Now powering the Rogue here is what most Rogues are going to come with. It's a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder that produces 170 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 175 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM, with EPA estimates being a pretty darn good 26 in the city and 33 on the highway. Now you can go with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Now, if you even want better fuel efficiency for the Rogue, you could step up to the hybrid powertrain, which is supposed to debut later in 2017. And it's supposed to gain 7 mpg overall over this model here. But this powertrain is pretty fuel efficient. However, it can be underwhelming at times, especially when it comes to acceleration. Now trims of the Rogue start at the base S, which starts at $23,820. The mid-trim level, which is the SV, starts at $25,240. And then the top of the line SL, you're looking at $29,960. Now competitors of the Rogue, you have the vehicles in the compact crossover class, of course. This includes the likes of the Ford Escape, Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, Subaru Forester, as well as the Chevrolet Equinox. EPA estimates, like I said, 26 city, 33 highway. Total vehicle price for our particular Rogue, $24,985. And you finally have a shark fin antenna on top. Coming to the rear of the vehicle, like I said, you have new tail lights. Love the smoked out part at the bottom right here. And then you have rear reflectors, rear window wiper with a rear window defroster, and a third brake light. All of your basic power necessities: power windows, power door locks, power mirrors, chrome interior door handles. Now, interior quality in the Rogue is pretty good. It's pretty competitive for the class. Would I say it's the best in the class? Well, not really, but it's still pretty nice inside of here. And you have soft touch materials on the upper door panel, armrests. The dashboard is pretty much all soft touch, which is nice. Build quality is pretty excellent. Fit and finish is overall pretty competitive with the rest of the vehicles in the class. Overall, interior quality is certainly on par with the rest of the segment. Now, coming to the steering wheel design, like I said, I love the steering wheel design. But over here we do have your steering wheel mounted audio controls, and then you will also find your controls for your little LCD screen in the center right there. And then over here we have your cruise control, Bluetooth phone controls, and your voice recognition. The steering wheel also does tilt and telescope. Newly available this year for 2017 is that you can get a heated steering wheel now. Down here you also do have a little storage cubby, a USB charging port, auxiliary input, and a 12-volt power outlet. Down here is where you'll find dual cup holders, and then you can maybe use this as a cell phone holder, which is nice. Pretty convenient location. And center console, pretty good size. And then you also find a 12-volt power outlet down there. Not too shabby, and it's nice and soft touch on the lid and stitched, which is nice. The seats in the Rogue are some of the most comfortable seats in the compact crossover class. They're very plush, great for long road trips, and thigh support is also excellent too. And you certainly won't find a problem getting comfortable in this vehicle. I found a pretty comfortable driving position, and I'm about 6 feet tall. And as far as visibility goes in the Rogue, visibility out of the front windows are pretty good. Seeing out of the windshield can be a little bit of a challenge, but it's not too bad. But rearward visibility, there's a few sore points back here. It can be a little hard to see out of the rear here, but there is the availability of blind spot detection. Let's do have your glove box compartment. Coming to your AC controls. Fairly basic stuff here. I mean, your fan speeds, different zones, and your temperatures. You can go with dual zone automatic climate control on higher end trims, of course. And then you have your front window defroster and your rear window defroster and your recycling. Up here you will find a 5-inch screen here that is colored, and you have your presets that are located right here. Your different audio sources do include all of the norm: AM, FM, XM satellite radio, Bluetooth streaming audio, and your USB port with iPod integration. All the basic stuff here. But it's a decent looking screen, and then you also do have your digital clock. You can also change the settings like the bass, treble, balance, and your fade. And you could turn the display off or on if you would like, which is nice. Now, coming to the gauges and the instrument cluster, love these new gauges here, and I love the new LCD screen. That's my favorite part. And then on the right you have your speedometer, your fuel gauge, and then on the left you'll find your tachometer and your coolant temperature. In the center right there, it's shows you all of your vehicle information. It's controlled by the buttons on the steering wheel. Shows you things like your exterior temperature readout as well as your digital clock, and it also shows you your average fuel economy, what audio source is playing, and then you could change your audio source from here too. And then you have your tire pressure monitoring system, chassis control, any warnings, and then your driver assistant, like your chassis control, and then your clock, meter settings, vehicle settings, maintenance alarm, your tire pressures, change the language too. You could do a factory reset. But it's a pretty good looking screen here. Love the rendering and the graphics. Pretty nice looking. Down here you also do have your eco button and sport button, and then your traction control off. And the different driver selectable modes are more of a gimmick. I mean, they don't really change the way the vehicle drives all that much, to be honest. Up here you do have your manually dimming rearview mirror, LED map lights, which is nice, and then your sunglass container. Now, as far as the way the Rogue drives, if you're looking for a compact crossover that delivers excellent fuel economy as well as pretty good comfort too, the Rogue will certainly not disappoint. However, if you're looking for a crossover that's engaging to drive and provides a little oomph, then the Rogue is certainly not the one to go to. The steering can feel a little numb and a little vague. It's not really that predictable around corners. If you're looking for better driver engagement, certainly check out the Ford Escape and the Mazda CX-5. Those are the best choices. But I mean, this Rogue here is really trying to compete with vehicles like the Toyota RAV4. I mean, it's all about fuel efficiency and comfort for the Rogue, which is not a bad thing. That's what many consumers actually want. And that's probably why the Rogue is one of the best-selling compact crossovers now. And you know, the ride is really comfortable. It soaks up road bumps fairly well and provides luxury car ease, which is nice. And it's pretty quiet inside of here too, especially at highway speeds. But if the powertrain is really underwhelming at times, especially with the acceleration. They need a much more powerful powertrain. They probably need a turbocharged 4-cylinder. That's what everybody's going to nowadays. And the CVT automatic transmission does hesitate to shift at times. Not a huge fan of the CVT. And also, the CVT isn't the most refined transmission out there. But if you're looking for comfort and fuel efficiency, the Rogue certainly delivers. All right, and let's go ahead and shut down the Rogue. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle. And at the end of every drive, it gives you a little bar graph of your fuel economy, which is cool. Materials do follow through in the rear. And the rear seats do fold down, of course. Now you can actually go for a third row seat if you're looking for a third row in a compact crossover. All the headrests are also adjustable, and the second row seats do recline. Now if you actually go for the third row seat, it's certainly only recommended for small children as it's very cramped back there. Now you do have dual mat pockets back here. Pretty good amount of leg room and pretty good amount of headroom too. The seats are fairly comfortable too, and thigh support isn't too shabby. You have your air vents, and then like I said, all the headrests are adjustable back here. Overall, it's a fairly comfortable experience. All right. Now the Rogue does offer a pretty good amount of cargo space as well as versatility. And it's one of the best compact crossovers if you're looking for pretty good versatility. Like I said, the rear seats do fold down, 60-40 split here. And you can also go for a hands-free liftgate on higher end trims. Full manual passenger seat. So while the Rogue doesn't deliver a jaw-dropping powertrain or excellent driver engagement, it does excel when it comes to comfort, fuel economy, and versatility, which many people are looking for in a compact crossover. And this is why it's one of the best choices in the compact crossover class. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.